Welcome to Marketing from X to Z,
the podcast specifically created for small business owners who want practical marketing advice without the hype.
We're your hosts. This is Mike Albuquerque representing Gen X.
And this is Liz Bachmann, our resident Gen Zer.
We're here to share honest insights, real-world experiences,
and tangible strategies to help your small business thrive.
Hey, Mike, do you want to start a podcast?
Let's do it. What are we talking about today, Liz?
Today we are talking about business lessons that we are thankful for.
And we're doing that because?
It's the week of Thanksgiving.
There we go. Hope you're getting to sit together with family and friends.
Yeah. It's a good time to start reflecting. Because, as we head into Thanksgiving week, a lot of us start to slow down, hopefully, to spend time with family and think about what has happened this year and like what we are grateful for.
Yes.
Right?
It's a great time to reflect. Absolutely.
So what's something you're thankful for?
Okay. So, this has been a year with a lot of changes for me.
Yeah.
And changes can be challenging, but they can also be fun. I think part of being an entrepreneur is being okay with like the constant changes and the rolling with the punches and all that.
Absolutely.
So, I'm definitely thankful for some of the challenges that have come up this year and for how I've behaved when they did and reacted to them.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically, I want to talk about one thing that I did as a result of those challenges, which was to start creating content for my business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of what this podcast is, which is something that I'm definitely thankful for. Doing more speaking engagements, doing more social media content. Those are all things that I have done in the content realm this year that I'm thankful for because I've been learning a lot through all of those.
Oh, that's really, really awesome. That is a good way to look at some of those changes and challenges is, well, how can it help me grow?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
For me, I'm actually really excited about the relationships I've built because I have been building relationships with different strategic partners, kind of like what we talked about in the last episode for a while now. But this year, I feel like a lot of them have really bloomed.
Yeah.
So, our relationship has gotten better. We're doing a lot more projects together.
Yes. And more involved projects.
Together. But then I've also got other strategic partners that things have finally come to fruition in the last 12 months or so that I had been building towards for the beginning of my business. And now not just with the projects, but also just with the friendships and the ability to exchange knowledge and learn from people. So that's when I look back, that's what I'm really thankful for this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's good to hear. Relationships are the fuel for any small business.
Yeah.
That's we talked about. So it's a great thing to, have those they don't start overnight, right? They don't develop overnight. You got to nurture them and grow. And so getting to the point where you're at that growth stage with them and they're more established relationships, that's a win. That's something to celebrate.
Yeah,
sure.
It's been a lot. But you mentioned challenges for this year, some things that have happened. So tell me a little bit about that and then how you kind of turned it on its head to be something that you're a little bit more thankful for.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think as small business owners, one of the big pitfalls that we have is there's a lot that you can do, right? And especially when you're in marketing, there's a lot of different projects that come along where people want you to get involved on the project side and whatnot. And those are really fun and exciting. I've gotten the chance to work with a lot of great people on a variety of different projects. I don't know that I've ever, even as I'm speaking, I'm thinking of more other projects that I'm involved with. But they can also take away from the core focus of what you do in your business.
Right. Yeah.
And I've had some of those projects that I was involved with either slow down or come to an end, and that's given me the opportunity to say, okay, what do I want to go on next? Are there other side projects or group projects that I want to be involved with, or do I want to refocus on my business? And largely, what I've chosen to do is to refocus on my business, and that has given me the opportunity to again start building a lot of content for myself and doing more visionary work, thinking, where do I want my business to go? Where do I want to be here, in 5 years? Is the answer the same as it was 2 years ago? What have I learned through some of the challenges that have come up?
Yeah, in the business, working more on the business instead of in the business type of deal.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that makes sense.
How about you? Any challenges this year?
Yeah, just a little bit. So I mentioned this a little bit in the last episode, but I lost my largest retainer client this year.
Mhm.
And it wasn't something like I did. It wasn't a bad like blow up or anything like that. It
Mhm.
just stopped
Just happened.
being, which is something that happens
Mhm.
in business. But when I had that contract, I got a little bit complacent
Mhm.
with some of my stuff because everything was fine.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have to necessarily worry about it, and I was building things internally, so I wasn't like completely not doing anything on my business, but like I was really comfortable
Yeah.
with the revenue I was making and that sort of thing. And so when that went away, I ended up having to refine a set of skills that I had started working on before that contract. And then once it happened, I was so focused on fulfilling that I didn't bother, because that contract was like, there was like 90 plus deliverables a month
Okay. Yeah.
on that
That's pretty
contract.
involved.
Yeah. So like it was a lot,
Mhm.
which is why I ended up focusing so much more on it than I did on the business stuff. And that made me basically kind of have like a really precarious job
Mhm.
in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. So what I ended up doing was now I'm focusing more on pipeline building and lead generation activities, kind of similar to what you're doing. And that's something that for the longevity of my business in the future, I'm very glad that at this stage of my business, I went, oh, shoot, that's something I need to be focusing on more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I think we've all had challenges similar to the ones that we both described, right?
Yeah.
And it takes you off track when those happen, but I think the important thing is like to learn from them and repivot and figure out, okay, what lessons can I take from it?
Well, and the ability to do that is what makes businesses that last and businesses that don't.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because it's really easy to run a business when you have one big contract that's paying your bills.
Yeah, exactly.
But making sure that you have the skill set in place to continue to grow that business is that's like the difference between being a business owner and being a technician in your business. So.
Absolutely. So is there a specific client or project that taught you something this year that just kind of changed the way that you do things or work?
Yeah, actually. So this year has been a big growth year for me in a lot of different ways. This episode, I'm going to be maybe a little bit more vulnerable on the personal side. I mean, it is a reflection episode in a lot of ways. So it's okay to be vulnerable sometimes. And we're going to practice what I preach. So I'm working with a marketing agency as white label fulfillment right now. And that's great. I love the person I'm working with. She works with businesses primarily that are bigger than the businesses and more established than a lot of the businesses I work with. And what I learned from that is that my processes for content creation were not nearly backed up enough for that to be sustainable. Like not even close, because if I need something from a CEO or a higher level position to make something happen, they need a lot of lead time to make that happen. Whereas like small business owners, like especially who are more in my stage of business development, we're just kind of on the fly with stuff like, oh yeah, I'll get that to you. Like, but that's not how businesses that are like that next like tier up and like their growth and development function.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I kept undercutting myself and not allowing myself to be as strategic as I wanted to be because I was not backed up far enough. And so although most of my clients don't need the 90-day in advance sort of thing that some of this agency's clients need, it taught me a little bit about, okay, but even so, my clients would probably prefer to have more time between things and like have more prep work and like if they want to like invest in assets, having more time to make that happen and things like that, so that I'm not like, oh, and here we go and like that sort of energy, because that's very social media freelancer and not social media agency.
I get that.
So
yeah, exactly.
I am trying to make that jump. And so working with them has kind of helped me back things up and become more strategic, obviously with their clients, because that was a requirement for continuing the engagement, but also just applying that to mine.
Yeah, but that's great, because like that's part of what I love about like, collaborating and working with other people in the same industry as you, is that you can learn so much about processes and about, how to engage, how to even speak or position your business. I always love meeting with people who do exactly what I do, even though that's counterintuitive, right? You might think they're competitors, and I'm like, no, we will find a way to collaborate, right? We'll find like we might do 90% of everything that each other does, but there's 10%. There's that 10% over there where we can collaborate, right? Or even in client type or client size
Mhm.
or whatnot. So, and I love just being open, and when people are open and also and are willing to share with me their processes, I mean, there's so much growth that can come there because we
Yeah.
all have things to teach each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Learning how to growing from each other is huge. And it's like one of the most, in my opinion, it's one of the most, once you get your ego out of the way, which is something I will talk about later in this episode, because I did have some learning moments there too. But it is so much fun.
Yeah. So I've learned a lot this year from people like yourself and from other folks in the marketing realm who I got to collaborate with on some of those bigger projects that I talked about, those like group type projects,
Yeah.
where you're bringing in people who have, they might cross over in certain areas, but there's very specific skill sets and expertise that they're bringing to the table.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a chance to like refresh yourself on like some marketing strategies.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think we talked about some of the things that we've done for different projects that we've worked on, and just seeing which strategies are working, which ones are not, which ones are more of long term, which ones are more immediate, and just finding out that things like, like I shared before, I wasn't a big believer in like Facebook and or Meta ads until you came in and you're like, wow, this is crazy, and it's just really working out for a specific organization. Likewise, I've been part of other organizations where I got to work with people who just had such a strategic mindset in a way of looking at their business that just made me take a step back and say, wow, okay, they are they're so dedicated and so focused
Hmm.
on certain areas that I have a lot to learn here.
Hmm.
And I get to do that just by being a part of this, certain initiative or another.
Yeah, it's super, super neat. I agree with that. Because we have partnered on several of those bigger projects, as you mentioned, and it has been like, and it's funny because we've partnered in flipped roles,
Yeah.
where one of us has been the person in charge of the overarching, and then one has been a vendor, and then
Hmm.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
But it's definitely learning how to collaborate with all of these different pieces and like pulling
Hmm.
everything together. It's one of those things that like one of the things that I say when I'm talking about my business is marketing is a system, not a task.
Hmm.
And those projects were very much a representation and embodiment of that.
Yeah.
Because once we started working as a system instead
Hmm.
of I'm sometimes working like more siloed or that sort of
Hmm.
thing, like you ended up having like marketing team meetings and things of
Yeah.
that nature, and like making
Hmm.
sure that we're really like unified in what we're doing. And it's something that a lot of companies that do a piece of marketing aren't necessarily doing as well as they could
Yeah.
be. It's like they're kind of siloed off and not communicating, and it's like a totally different vibe.
Exactly.
So
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's great when we get to step out of those boxes, right, and just play in each other's sandbox,
yeah,
if you will.
absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So habits.
Mhm.
I know you have a lot of systems and you have a lot of different uh, habits that you've developed over the year.
Mhm.
Which ones are you glad that you stuck with?
Pipelines. Building out pipelines in a way that I can see my
Hmm.
pipeline and that are not existing in some fun space in my very active imagination. Like, I mean, because for me, a lot of it has been, this year has been a year of, and I want to keep us in the marketing realm, but this year has been a year of systems for me.
Uh-huh.
Like it has been, like I seriously invested into a systems and operations coach. Like
Hmm.
I seriously put my money where my mouth
Yeah.
was to get that sorted out, because my reflections this time last year was more of me getting in my own way.
Yes.
Right. So I didn't want to repeat that, because it's all good to reflect, but if you don't learn, then
Hmm.
it's not helpful.
Yes.
So building out my pipeline, building out my follow-up, and also just like generating systems inside of my business so that so the buck doesn't always have to stop with me. I can leverage my team members and things like that. It's a lot easier to do when you have written systems where people can look at stuff and understand where things are.
Uh-huh.
So
That's great.
that's kind of
Yeah.
what I'm happy I'm sticking with and doing.
Uh-huh.
What about you?
I am gonna go with projects management.
Okay.
because that's something that I have always struggled with,
Okay.
but it felt like this was the year that it started to click for me. And I
Okay.
think part of that came from working some of the bigger projects where there's multiple parts going on. And those projects, I mean, they have to be managed in one way or another. And I have to have a way of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And as I became more comfortable and familiar with that, I also decided that, hey, for my own systems, what is going to fit me, which was different. But I found a system that I like and that works where, I can stay on top of tasks, assign tasks, and connect with like team members who are working on different clients projects. And that has been it felt like a superpower.
Yeah.
Like the first time you get it done and you're like, wow, okay, hang on, I'm no longer having to like manually do X or Y or Z.
Mm-hmm.
Here is kind of a system for this to happen, and where I can at a glance see everything that's happening.
No, that makes total sense. It's also good to note that like we are in different years of our business being around.
Yes.
So like
Mhm.
the when I'm looking at one thing, like my business is what, half the age of your business,
Yeah.
roughly, a little
Yeah.
bit.
You're
So
year 4?
I'm about to hit year
Head
4.
year 4. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting, like the way that we iterate and the way that we learn
Mhm.
as we kind of continue to go.
Yes.
Like I think that's one of the benefits of this podcast as well, as
Mhm.
we're looking at it from two different perspectives. It's a
Yeah.
generational play on words, of course, but
Yeah.
it's also like your business is a good bit more established than mine, and so I'm a lot of my reflections are gonna be like, I learned how to build a business, and yours are, I learned how to optimize
Oh,
business,
well,
and I think that's interesting.
it's somewhat, yeah, and there's a lot of like, I mean, there's a lot of the things when it comes to like kind of the systems and even the way that like, you kind of reflect on just dealing with, approaching your business or refocusing on shifting one thing or another, which, also give me a lot of thought over, well, is that something I should be doing or not?
Mhm.
So that's kind of that exchange of experiences that,
What about a marketing habit? I know you did some marketing
yeah.
habit stuff this year too. So tell me about that.
So local SEO is something that we started offering this year,
Yes.
and it came out of doing it for ourselves
Okay.
because I went through a rebrand. At this point, what are we talking about? 2 years ago. 2 years ago is when it started. That feels like it was yesterday.
Yeah, it does
Um,
actually.
but I came up with a business. The business name Bear Double obviously was not a thing and was completely not established and doesn't mean anything really.
Hmm.
So I needed to get a way to be found.
Yeah.
And so I did some refresher courses on SEO and local SEO strategies, and just started to say, hey, let me focus on how to really use that to grow my business and just increase awareness out
Hmm.
there, and had great success with it.
Yeah.
Started ranking for pretty good keywords locally
Hmm.
fairly quickly.
Hmm.
And so it got me to think like, okay, hang on, let me, number one, stick through this for my business,
Uh-huh.
right? And number two, this can now become something that I'm comfortable enough offering it to some clients. And so we started taking on clients and offering that to them, and, just seeing great results and just being at the forefront at a time when you have AI SEO becoming a thing. And how
Hmm.
does that impact? What are the lessons that we're learning from AI tools that are going to impact Google and, other platforms as well?
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I think that's really, really cool. I knew that you had started
Yeah.
offering that. I wanted to make sure we brought it up because
Yes, yes. No,
that's
I
a big
appreciate it.
thing.
Yeah, it is. It's been a big focus for this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great. Which is great.
Man, we're getting eaten up by mosquitoes
Yeah,
here,
we
y'all. You don't
are.
know this, but this is a challenge.
Okay, so lesson learned, maybe don't shoot the podcast in the middle of the woods.
Don't do it. Yeah.
We are going to finish this out though.
Yeah.
All right. So,
So
lessons learned.
lessons learned.
Lessons learned that you'll carry into the year.
Okay, so one of the things that I started doing this year when developing content for myself was social media content.
Right.
Right, and we sat and we did the strategy
We
session,
did.
and even before that, we talked a lot about like you've obviously have known you for a few years now, and you've always been very open to sharing like some experiences and some
Hmm.
recommendations and whatnot. So I knew that I wanted to. I was working myself up, building up the energy gauge to say I am ready to get on social media, right? As a part of like growing the business, increasing awareness and all that. And I went and started building some habits to help me record the videos, help me understand what a hook is, why it's important, how to use it. And I built a nice backlog of videos before I ever posted.
Yes.
So I think I had 53 videos to 53 reels. Sorry, let me use the right terminology. Built to launch. And that was part of two things. One, me building the habit of being comfortable in front of the camera, speaking, knowing how long 3 minutes is or a minute and a half for some, so that I'm hitting some of the time components that certain platforms prefer. Figuring out, is there going to be a visual hook? Am I going to be doing something weird like writing my one reel to try to bring attention? But just having that backlog of reels just gave me the comfort to say I can launch this, and even if I lose steam a week from today, I got like a month to go. So I got a month to build that energy gauge back up and also build a system around it, how they're going to get edited, how the captions are going to get written, the titles, subtitles get added and all that.
And we're doing a very similar thing with this podcast, because it is, the middle of October and we're shooting the podcast for Thanksgiving week.
Exactly. Yes.
Because because trying to do things, and this is like a pedestal that I will just like get all over, but like trying to do things in real time like that is, especially when you are a business owner who is also serving clients, can get very frustrating and can get very unsustainable. So I'm glad that you took the time to build up that library, because it means that you're actually going to be able to continue to show up for yourself even when things get busy.
Exactly. Yeah.
So for me, it's more of a mindset thing, kind of as I alluded to before. Because when I think about like, one of the problems that I have had with my business is kind of my ego getting in the way of me learning stuff.
Okay.
I'm sure none of you relate to that at all, right?
No.
Maybe none of you will say it online and post it, but I'm pretty sure you do believe it. You have done it too. Stake my claim there. But one thing that I realized that I was doing when I was working with people is when there was a problem, I would get defensive and like try to prove why I wasn't the reason that something happened, instead of just looking at the problem and fixing it.
Okay.
And it turns out that it's okay either way, as long as I fix it. And so when I stopped doing that, it became so much less emotional labor because there are things that happen in business. You can do everything right. Doing air quotes here, you can do everything right, and there will still be things that happen.
Yes, very
and true. Trying to defend yourself rather than just fix it is a whole exercise that you just don't have to do.
Yeah.
And like learning that and practicing that has changed everything.
That is a really important lesson that I think is so liberating once you learn that.
Yeah.
I remember like the first time I had a job in the industry after college and having a big issue happen, and the director walks in the room and he's like, "Who did this?" And it's like finger pointing. Everyone's pointing the fingers, and we had this one account executive, and she goes, "Doesn't matter who did it, but what are we going to do to solve it?"
Yeah.
And I just sat there going like, "Darn, okay, yeah, I like that." We're and solve we did, right? As with everything, it's like.
Yep. Yeah. I had always worked on small teams where it was like, oh, if you did it, you have to fix it. And so I think that's part of where I like internalize that of like, oh, it's my mistake and it's my fault, and they're going to see me as not providing value anymore because I made this like thing happen. I need to prove I didn't make this thing happen so I don't lose this contract.
Yeah.
And that's like not how this works at all. Because most people recognize that people are people.
Yes.
And it's more about what's next. Like, as you said, but that was like I actually took a mentor pointing it out to me to basically be like, hey, you're so focused on proving that it wasn't you that it's taking way longer for us to just fix the problem when nobody's worried about if it was you or not.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah, so that was a big thing for me.
Yeah, and as we go from like the not finger pointing
Mm-hmm.
and understanding that problems are collectives, that things that we can solve as a group. Jumping into gratitude now.
Yeah.
Right. This is the time of the year that we focus on gratitude the most.
Mm-hmm.
How has gratitude influenced the way that you approach business or even the clients and leads?
Yeah. So for me, I think, as I mentioned earlier, the relationships I've built with people, those are also the relationships that have allowed me to learn a lot of what I've learned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they have to feel pretty solid about our relationship
Uh-huh.
in order for them to be willing to give me that type of feedback in the first place.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, I imagine you would say something like that to me
Mm-hmm.
if I ended up doing it, which it wasn't you. But
Uh-huh.
like, you have to building those relationships to find people that will help you move forward and like just from a place of like how selfless they are being.
Uh-huh.
That has been in just I'm incredibly grateful
Mm-hmm.
for the people who have poured into me this year.
Yeah. Absolutely. I have a client that I have worked together with them for the past maybe 6 years or so, and they have been so gracious with sitting down and just having work sessions with me on my business. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you are in I mean, you have your own business, you are completely different. You're not in the marketing realm, you're not in the operations realm, you're in the running a product-based business. But they have sat down with me on and it's reciprocal, right?
Of course.
It's relationship building. So, I will go the extra mile for them and do things that I wouldn't otherwise do, because that's part of relationship and
Yeah,
pouring
absolutely.
yourself into each other. Um, you know, so I definitely understand that and appreciate it as well. I've taken the approach of looking at things this year specifically and just being thankful for every relationship, being thankful for every client, every introduction, every conversation that I get to have a chance to take. I'm thankful for people being gracious with their time, being willing to meet with me, because not everyone is willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people who don't see the value in taking the time to sit down and get to know with someone who maybe they don't want to hire me, or maybe they don't want to partner with me, but just the ones who are willing to do it. That's like step one on building a strong relationship.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. With that, I think we should move into our wrap up.
Let's wrap this so that we stop getting bitten by mosquitoes here.
Yep, because
I no longer have ankles.
We're fine. Everything's fine,
Yeah.
guys. It's all good. But what is one message that you want to leave other small business owners with as they are heading into the holidays, Mike?
Okay, so we're talking about Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So, some of us might be spending some more time with family or friends, or going back to hometown, seeing people that we don't see.
Yeah.
Ask them questions, ask them about their year.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go with the intent of, hey, do you need a website? Right? I don't think I've ever sat around the Thanksgiving table and said, what are your business's problems with the website? But just listen to problems, listen to things that are happening, not just in business, but in culture,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that those are all things that can help you inform and better understand the environments and challenges that people have.
Mm-hmm.
That way, you can then think back of how is there a thread that relates to your business to inform you better, or how you, either create new packages or position things or see trends as well. Listen to people. That's my one recommendation.
I love that. That is, yeah, that's really, really good. For me, so this again ties back to something I did this time or for Thanksgiving last year that I wish I hadn't done.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked through the entire Thanksgiving day last year.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've done
Yeah,
that before.
I went to my mom's house
Uh-huh.
and they made the whole thing, and I sat on my laptop on the couch
Mm.
trying to figure out an ad campaign for a client because I did not request enough lead time on the thing in the first place, and also I didn't plan ahead well enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ended up, I hit my deliverable.
Yeah.
But you know what? The client doesn't remember that.
Mm.
The client doesn't care.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But I didn't spend as much time with my family on that holiday and my loved ones on that holiday as I wish I had, looking back.
Yeah.
So as a business owner, twofold.
Mm-hmm.
One, setting boundaries and clear expectations around deliverables so that you are protecting your time. And then second, setting yourself up for success by giving yourself enough time to actually complete it and not seeing holidays as extra work time, because they're really not supposed to be that.
Yeah.
As simple as it would feel to, oh, well, this
Mhm.
is a day where I'm probably not going to be getting any inbounds. I might as well just knock something. Be with your loved ones.
Mhm.
It's more important.
Yeah, and even if you're not, use the time to recharge, to
Yeah.
reset, because that stuff matters.
Yeah, it really
Or
does.
or travel, or go to a beach somewhere. Don't go to mosquito-infested woods.
All right.
There's no mosquitoes in Georgia probably at the time this podcast is dropping.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
but with that, we are going to get out of here before we finish becoming food.
Yeah.
But thank you for listening. Happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you next week.
Oh no, before we go, I have one quick question.
Oh,
Favorite Thanksgiving dish?
favorite Thanksgiving dish. Okay, my mom makes potatoes au gratin.
What? That sounds fancy.
Oh no, my entire Thanksgiving is so fancy.
Okay.
It is so ridiculous because my mother is an amazing cook. Like
Okay.
she's like disgustingly good. And so we even if we have 6 people, she makes a Thanksgiving for like 30 because we can't give up any of the sides.
Okay.
And so potatoes au gratin, what that is the really thinly sliced potatoes that are
Okay.
covered in like so much cheese and then put in there, baked until they're soft, and it is so good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it is.
So healthy.
I'm sorry, if you want Thanksgiving food to be
Yeah,
healthy, you're
no.
wrong.
Yeah.
But that's mine. So what is yours?
Broccoli and cheese casserole.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good one too.
My mother-in-law makes it every year, and she knows that that half of that thing is mine. So it's like her kids get some of it, you know. I get a good amount. We get sent home with some.
That's how my dad. That's how my dad is about bride salad. More than half of the bride salad container is my father's. 100% of the time.
All right. So, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Please comment below, and also let us know, what are you thankful for.
Yeah.
And with that, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.